Up with KREM begins now.
Well, right now on Up with KREM, the victims have been identified in the fatal crash involving a car and fire truck near Loon Lake. This morning, we hear from one of the teens' aunt. Plus, a North Idaho man is looking to keep flights over Lake Coeur d'Alene after a tragic accident last summer. This morning, Brandon T. Jones tells us about new safety upgrades for pilots.
Yeah, Tim, Brooks Seaplane will have a new owner, and by this summer you could see planes flying over the water. Once again, I'll tell you all about it in just a few moments.
And we're going to take you outside. Look closely. Right there on the dock. Do you see him? I see him. That's Brandon T. Jones on your screen in Coeur d'Alene with clouds in the sky.
Well, check this out. This morning there was a rare ring of fire solar eclipse. Coming up in just a few minutes, we explain the difference between how this eclipse is different from years past. Good morning, glad to have you here with us. I'm Tim Pham. Right now, firefighters are saying we could see wildfire conditions like we've never seen before. KREM had the chance to talk to some of the most experienced firefighters in our region.
You know, if it were green, wet at all, it would be rubbery, but everything, doesn't matter what size, just snaps. But what's disturbing a little bit is when we even look at the green branches, they're doing the same thing.
Now, it's because of these particularly bad conditions that the Department of Natural Resources is expanding their burn restrictions. Starting Friday, permit burning is not allowed in Highlands, Canucksu, Methow, Upper Basin, and Valley. Campfires will only be allowed in approved campgrounds in Chelan, Canucksu, Lower Basin, Lower Yakima, Upper Basin, Upper Yakima, and Valley. There have been 437 fires statewide so far this year. The 10-year average has been 178 fires this time of the year. All right, with that, let's get to meteorologist Jeremy Lagu. Jeremy, we could use any rain we could get. Are we going to expect any this week?
Dismal is our chances for rain, even if there is a storm moving in, and there is. It doesn't offer us enough to get us any sort of change. All right, we talked about it a little bit earlier, and I know Brandon T. Jones can hear me. Brandon, turn to your right and wave for all of us. He is waving. It worked. He's waving. Brandon, hi. Oh, yeah. This is a great moment in live TV. Oh, this is so beautiful.
What's up, man?
Oh, he said, what's up? Oh, that's so great. Oh,
I love it.
We can hear you and see you. This is so great. All right, Brandon, sorry, we got to move on, but hey, thanks for being out there. Temperatures right around 50 degrees in both Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, even up in Sandpoint now. We're in the mid and upper 50s out in central Washington with plenty of sunshine. We've got some cloud cover overhead, and that cloud cover is going to stick around a while longer. We'll eventually get a little shift in the weather pattern later today. That'll bring about some sunshine. Early tomorrow, more cloud cover moves in, and then it does suggest that there might be a stray sprinkle during the day. I think we're too dry to get any sort of decent moisture to the ground. It might be enough that you go, oh, is that a sprinkle on my windshield? And that's about it. Today, we're much drier though. Wind gusts up near 25 miles per hour later this afternoon as the sun returns. But as the sun returns, temperatures climb. We're in the mid to upper 60s later today, and by this afternoon, by this evening, temps up near 70, Tim.
Jeremy, thanks so much. A mother has been identified, and she's identifying her 19-year-old son and two other victims that were in the deadly crash near Loon Lake that happened on Monday. Lisa Laudermilch, the biological mother of Jordan Anthony Laudermilch, says her son was one of the victims. She says he was in the car with Chance Wilbur and Jasmine Cogswell when they collided head-on with a Stevens County fire engine on Highway 395 on Monday. Anthony's mother described all three as being teenagers. All three died at the scene near Loon Lake. The two firefighters are expected to be okay. Now, a GoFundMe account has been created for a memorial for Jasmine Cogswell. We spoke with Jasmine's aunt, Sarah Craig, who shared how her family is doing and how greatly they'll be missed.
Obviously, they're heartbroken, a lot of anguish, just the waves of grief. You know, there's times where everybody's sharing memories, doing the things that you would do at a time like this. Jasmine was always a lot of fun, lot of mischief. She and Jubilee would always find mischief of some sort. You knew they would. But also a really caring heart.
Sarah also told KREM 2 that her niece had already bought a card and Father's Day gift. Her family found it among her possessions following the crash. Jasmine bought her father a model train, and he is going to add it to his collection. Her aunt says he truly treasures that last gift from his daughter. Well, flights could begin operating soon again after a tragic crash involving a Brooks seaplane over Lake Coeur d'Alene last summer. This morning, Brandon T. Jones is at Lake Coeur d'Alene with the plans to make flights safer. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning, Tim. By the end of next month, Brooks Seaplane will have a new owner, and this new owner says he plans on keeping the Coeur d'Alene tradition alive, along with implementing some new safety protocols. His name is Shane Rogers with No Limits Aviation, and Rogers says he plans to install new safety upgrades on the aircrafts that will be used on flights over the lake. The aircrafts will have a device called ADSB. It transmits the plane's location to other aircraft and in turn receives the other aircraft's location as well. The local aviation community has also been working to establish routes over the lake so that people will know where other aircraft should be located in the air.
I mean, raised my kids, really my kids were raised at an airport. We would exercise, all my kids have learned how to ride bikes at airports. We've done a lot, and I can go across the country and there's people at airports all around that welcome us with open arms.
Rogers is with No Limits Aviation, and he also runs a program to introduce local middle and high school students to the aviation industry. Yesterday, during his trip to North Idaho, Governor Brad Little spoke about the aviation program.
If we can get these kids started, some of them are junior high. We get these kids started, pique their interest working on an airplane here, pique their interest in flying. There's just lots and lots of opportunities in Idaho.
So the aviation program has over 100 kids registered for their program, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to seeing the plane fly again once over Lake Coeur d'Alene after such a tragic incident occurred last year. Tim?
Brandon, thank you. Time for your morning rush now. More news in less time. First up, more stimulus checks are on their way. The IRS says it sent out another 2.3 million payments on Wednesday. Some of those checks included more money for people who received less than they were entitled to earlier this year. Now, if you are still trying to find out the status of your stimulus check, you can visit the IRS website and use the Get My Payment tool. Governor Inslee appointed a new head of the Employment Security Department. Cami Feek will oversee the agency that was hit hard by more than $600 million in fake unemployment claims.
Right now, we are super focused on recruiting, retaining, and staffing up a much larger team to really bring that backlog down and serve the people that have been waiting.
Feek is taking over for Susie Levine. She's now working for the Biden administration. Millions of dollars are being made available for Washington museums and libraries. The more than $3.5 million in grant money comes from the American Rescue Plan in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Washington State Library says public, academic, and tribal libraries and museums are eligible. The money can be used to help pay for everything from health and safety enhancements to technology upgrades. Grant applications open next week. Starting today, non-residents will have to pay a little more at Idaho state parks. The daily non-resident entry fee will double at certain parks. The new entrance fee will be $14. Governor Brad Little signed the law back in March, which specified increases for some of the state's busiest parks for day use and camping. And that's your morning rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media. Still ahead here on Up with KREM, the Spokane City Council ended its emergency declaration related to the coronavirus pandemic. Coming up at 8 a.m., what it means for the city moving forward. But first, coming up after the break, we take a closer look at this morning's Ring of Fire eclipse.
And we're going to take you outside, talk the weekend forecast, because after all, it's Friday Eve. We'll have all that coming up after the break.